It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Thanks everybody for coming out, and thank you to Shamoon and also Grubhub for hosting this event. So today I'm going to talk to you about Corvid by Wix, and this is an accelerated web development platform for full stack developers. So let's get started. Cool. So we're talking about accelerated web development. So we were thinking about the future, and we want to build web apps like it's the year 2030. All right. So when we think about the future, we think about the industry that we all work in, what the landscape is going to be like later on, and how our jobs are going to be later too as well. But one thing I want to definitely highlight is that everybody in this room has the ability to help shape how our industry is going to be later on. As you know, I'm Joshua Alphonse. I'm a full stack developer, also a web developer advocate for Corvid by Wix. I'm also a music producer. And you're speaking about the producer club that I'm part of. We're called Producer Plug. So you can follow us on Instagram, Producer Plug Uni, and you can come by. So if you're a music producer or just someone that's an enthusiast as well, you can come by to our events. We have them at the end of every month. So we actually had one last Sunday. It's just beat battles and also sessions in studios to help producers connect within New York City. So if you're interested, definitely let me know. So by show of hands, has anyone here used Wix before or have heard of it? Sweet. So let's see here. So most of the times when people hear Wix, they think about the drag and drop editor that we have, right? It's sort of like PowerPoint, but for web development. All right, you can drag and drop UI elements to any place you want on the page, and there's no HTML or CSS involved. So by the year 2030, like most developers, we want to build things and work smarter and not harder, right? So for example, how long does it usually take you guys to go and deploy a website using Heroku, AWS, or any of those other services? That might take a while just to set up those environments. Or even just setting up authorization as well. That could take you a while. But for the most part, I've seen people just use cookie cutter code as well. This one? This is a weird device. Hello? Oh, sweet.
You pressed it.
Sorry about that. Hello? Is that better?
Try it again. I think it might have run out of battery or something.
This one works. Cool. Awesome. So those processes take a long time just to be inside your development. And those are the tasks that you shouldn't have to actually go through. So tonight I want to highlight the efforts that Wix is making to help accelerate your web development. Okay. So I'm a full stack developer, and I use frameworks like React, Vue, but those frameworks also have helped me become a better developer. But at the same time, there's still tasks that I want to get rid of so I can get straight to my JavaScript. So Corvid by Wix offers 3 different pillars within the system. So it's a one-stop shop for full-stack JavaScript developers. So we have the app. We have our visual builder that actually gets rid of HTML and CSS. We have hundreds of UI elements built into the Wix editor that you can go through, so you don't actually have to go and write lines and lines of CSS and connect it to your HTML and the JavaScript as well. We have built-in business management applications and verticals that you could use. So if you want to go and launch a web store, it's very easy, just from a drag and drop or click of a button. All right. So we also have Node.js built in to Corvid as well. So this also gives you the ability to create backend functions, HTTP functions. You can expose your own site's API. We also have some people that are just building sites just to be services. And then also we have the Wix Secure Cloud and Wix Data. And that allows you to use the integrated databases that we have built into Corvid. And these databases are built on top of MongoDB. And you can also use webhooks, data hooks, and you can set different permissions. So these are some of my favorite features that we have with Corvid. So we have a built-in cloud IDE, so you actually don't have to go and use your own external environments. We have the IDE built into the editor. You can run a Node.js server. We also have hundreds of NPM packages that you can download. So ranging from things from TensorFlow to Lodash, and we're also adding more and more every single month, so that we can help facilitate the developers and also give them exactly what they want. And in the near future, we're looking to have all of the NPM packages that are available on the website to use for Corvid as well. We also have third-party API integration. You can integrate any third-party API that you have online with Corvid. And like I said before, we have our own database built in, but we also have the abilities for you to go and use existing databases that you already have. So if you have something on AWS, or if you have something on some other MySQL database, you can integrate that as well. And then we also have built-in verticals that you could use, such as Wix blogs, Wix stores, and Wix bookings as well. And dynamic pages, so you don't have to recreate the same pages over and over again. But let's get into it. All right, cool. So when you go to Wix.com and you go to sign up, you just simply log in. So you can continue with Google or Facebook, and it's really easy. So I'm in. So when I want to create a new website, just simply go over here to the right corner, and I click Create a New Website. So Wix actually makes it very easy for you to start your project. There's thousands of beautiful templates that you can go through, depending on the type of project you want, or you could start from a blank slate. So if I go over here, you also see all the different topics that you could start with, but I like to go start with other. So you could start with the ADI, which actually is our artificial intelligence platform that actually creates the template that you want for you without you having to actually pick something. You just put in keywords, and it will create the template for you. I like to use the Create Website with the Wix editor, because that gives me a little bit more manual freedom as well. And so if you see here, we have plenty of different templates that you could go through. So if you want to go and start an online store, all these templates come packed with the appropriate Wix verticals to get you started. So I'll just go here to a blank template, and I'll go here to edit. Let's just wait a little bit. So to work with Corvid, our accelerated web development platform, we'll be using JavaScript. So you just simply go here into the new project, and you go to dev mode. And dev mode turns on Corvid. So Corvid requires no setup, no maintenance, and you won't have to go back and download and install updates to any of the packages that you have built in. You don't have to take care of the server. It's an entirely serverless platform just for the user. So you turn on dev mode, you'll get this little pop-up, and you'll see that the code panel on the bottom has appeared. So you have the ability here to go and type your JavaScript code, and we have our own API built in called $W, and the $W is kind of similar to how jQuery and the query selector looks, but it's a little different because this isn't a framework, this is a platform. So I'll go here, and I'll show you how to drag and drop different elements here. You go to add, and let's say we want to go and add something decorative, right? So there's, like I said, there's hundreds of UI elements that you can have. So if I see a vector image or something that I like, let's say we get this person, it's stretching, and I get some text. All right, very easy. So that required no HTML or CSS at all, right? And I could place these elements in any places that I want on the page. I can go and also change the design, change the color. All right, but let's get into the code. So this vector image here, I can go right-click, view properties, and change the ID of the element that I have. So if I go stretch, right? So now the element ID is now stretch. And let's change the element ID for this text here. Let's write hello. So we have the ability to go drag and drop different elements, and we can also add different events to the elements as well. So let's say I don't want this to appear once I start the page. So I can just simply go here to hidden on load, and when I preview my site, I won't see the text that I put there. Very easy. But let's take it a step further. So you see I have this vector image here of this person stretching. We can add different events to the UI element based on which one it is. So for this case, for vector images, we have UI elements here. We have the UI element that can do the function for mouse in. And it will automatically create an export function for us. And we can change the name, but I'll keep it the same the way it is default. And I'll press enter. And let's also add a mouse out. Excellent. So I'll show you how easy it is to select elements and also run some functions on top of them. So if I have here this mouse in for this stretch, all I simply have to do is use our $W API that helps us select UI elements on the page. So there's no get document by ID, get the element by ID, or query selector. Corvid by Wix actually doesn't run on the DOM. It's its own separate environment. So if I go here and I type $W, parentheses, quote, and I go hello, right? Let's say show. And you can also add an animation. So if I go here to, let's say, fade, right? And then I go to the mouse out. I could do $W. Let's say hello again. And we go .hide. And we could have a, oops, can't see. And we say we do a bounce. So these are just separate.
You're able to make that larger.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Because it's hidden.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
No problem. Let's go here, hide, and we go bounce. We deleted that. Squiggly. Awesome. So if I go here to, it saves automatically, and I go here to preview. Once I go and mouse in over this image here, we'll see that we'll have that same animation, and once we mouse out, it'll go right away. So it's really easy to get started, but that's just something very simple, but we can get more complex. And I'll show you. Adopt a Bird. So Adopt a Bird is an application, just a demo site that was created. And what this is a website that helps you find a bird, rare birds in this case, and you can use Corvid to process payments, send emails to different users when they go and visit these birds, and you can also have HTTP functions to help reset the website. So if I go here simply, when I want to go and publish my website, I just go here to publish, and that was all the deployment that I needed. No Heroku, no Netlify, AWS, or anything. Just one button. So if I go here to view site, I'll be able to see my site in full action. So you'll see that we have some of these UI elements here. Parallax already built in, which required no CSS or external libraries, NPM packages, or anything like that. So this right here we call a repeater. And a repeater allows you to connect the list of the data that you have inside your data collections. All right? So in this case, we have a data collection that has a collection of birds. So if we go here to Yogi, this will bring us to Yogi's page and Yogi's route. You have the ability to go here and adopt, put in your name, put your email, and it'll send an email to the user. And this is actually using one of our NPM packages that are built in for SendGrid, which is a service by Twilio that helps when you send a form, when you input values into a form, it will send an email straight to that person. So then you'll also see that we also have another vertical here for donate. So at the moment, we're not processing the payments, but that's also a built-in vertical. But when you go back to the page, you'll see that Yogi's been adopted. So that's running some of the front-end code. But when we go here, we'll see inside the repeater when we go to view other pages here, these pages look the same. So from Cindy's page, Pearl's page, they look the same. And these are dynamic pages. Dynamic pages allow you to create the same template of the same page and add different data points to it using the data sets and dynamic data that we have built into Wix. And it allows you to create these different pages. So if you have an e-commerce store and you have products that you want to show but you don't want to change the format, this is perfect for you. So we'll go back to the editor. So this here is the repeater that I was speaking of. And the repeater allows you to go connect data from the data collection to the repeater. So on the side here, we have databases. So in this case, we have birds. So our databases run on top of MongoDB, and we also offer a nice UI for the databases, so you can easily add different entries. We have different data types that you can add: video, audio, text, also phone numbers, and you can also join databases as well. So we're giving you that relational database feel, but also with an intuitive UI. You can also import an existing database as well, or even download flat files like CSV files, and they'll populate the fields that you have. So this repeater is actually connected to a data set that we have here for the birds. So you'll see this repeater has all the different images. You'll see the adopted tag. It looks the same way how it does on the website. If we go here to data, connected data, we'll see that it's connected to the birds data set. And then this point is connected to the image, the name, the text, all those fields that were stored inside the data set. So there's no having to go to hit a different backend and then calling from an API to go get those different the different data that you have built in. There's no need for that. Everything is click, and you can also add different functions on top of that using the Wix data API that we have built in as well. And we have a really good API reference that has plenty of examples, plenty of snippets and code that you have, so in case you get lost, you can always look in the API reference, and it's really packed with a lot of information. So, like I said, we have hundreds of NPM modules that you can have and use. So if you go here to node modules on the left pane, and you go to install packages, you'll see the entire list that we have here. So you see AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, there's TensorFlow, there's, what else? Lodash, and we're continuing to add. You can also send in requests to add more that you like. So in this case, we're using SendGrid, which is an NPM package to send the email. So we have some of our backend functions here so that when a user does send an email, we could also configure it with conf jobs as well. So we have a function here, send anniversary email, which is actually something that we call inside of our conf jobs here, so that whenever you adopt a bird, you can actually schedule these jobs to send an email once a year saying, hey, happy anniversary, thank you for adopting Perl. And you can edit these conf jobs any way that you want to schedule any type of events on your website. We also have our pay vertical built in here, and that's also a backend file as well. This is all using Node and JavaScript. So this is for the create a payment so that when you do donate to the bird, you can donate $5 using the Wix pay vertical. Something really important here, HTTP functions. So never before Wix was this far into code. And HTTP functions are really important, especially if you have your own services. You can expose your own site's API so that other people can capture the data that you have. So that being said, you can go and do GET requests from Postman. If I send that there, you'll see that I'm getting my list of birds, who's adopted, and who the adoptee is. You can also do post requests as well, every HTTP function. So if I want to go and reset that list of adopted birds, I could just send a post request. All birds have been nested. And when I go back to my site, you'll see that there's no adopted tag on Yogi. All right. So you can make this as complex as possible, as complex as you want. This is literally just Node and JavaScript. So also, another thing that I like to add is that if you're not comfortable using the built-in IDE and editor, you can also use your own environments that you like. So I like to use VS Code. Some people like to use Sublime or Atom. You can use that using the Corvid CLI. And the Corvid CLI installs an Electron editor onto your computer. And it's the same exact drag and drop editor that you would have when you're on the web. So you just have to make sure that you're connected to the internet, and you'll be able to use this Corvid CLI. We also have a Corvid VS Code extension, so that when you are connecting to different UI elements, VS Code can actually recognize which elements that you have. And if you like to use different extensions like Prettier or Beautify, anything like that, ESLint, it's perfect for you. And I like this because I can do split screen for my project, rather than when I'm in the traditional editor for Wix, I'm in one screen. So let's see here. Let's go back to the editor. Yeah. Let's see. You can also create public backend functions as well. Everything's on this Wix Secure Cloud, so you don't have to worry about anything being exposed, especially if you put it inside of a backend file as well. And let's go here. So I want to show you some examples of Corvid being used in the industry. So we have iSymmetry, which is the surfboard manufacturer. I don't know why this video is not coming up. Let's go. Oh. So iSymmetry is a surfboard manufacturer, and you can see that they're using some of the on-click functions that we have using the Corvid API. So you can go here and create a store very easily and change and swap the colors for the items that you have. We also have Gateway Union, which is actually a financial company in Jamaica that's using a lot of verticals from Wix and also external APIs as well. So they're using Google AI Dialogflow to help with their custom chatbot that actually works and has thousands of different words that it can say automatically. And this is actually one of my favorites. This one, the service is in Israel. It's called Tulu. And Tulu is an on-demand rental service for home goods or household lifestyle products. So they actually have a Corvid application that works on mobile. And what it is, it's a facility that you could walk into and you could rent like vacuums or irons or chairs or something like that just by using a QR code and using the mobile application. So if you're here on Tulu, this is all using Corvid. They have their item that they want to rent. They got it. They have their QR code that pops up. They can walk into their store, and you can go and rent your product. So you can get pretty complex when it comes to using Corvid. It's not just Wix's drag and drop editor that you're used to. It's something way further than that. It's the one-stop shop for full stack development. So I also want to introduce you all to something, because I did see a raised show of hands, people looking for jobs and looking for things, opportunities to keep coding. So if you're looking for something, either if you have a job or not, we have the Wix Arena. The Wix Arena is actually a platform that allows developers, designers, entrepreneurs to funnel and get into one space so that they can collaborate and get to work on projects together. So if you're a developer and you're a JavaScript developer, you want to get hired and you want to work on a freelance project with agencies, you can do so by joining the Wix Arena. You'll showcase your work and you'll show people that, hey, I can actually be a developer on your site. I could be a designer. And you can get paid. There's actually people with full-time jobs working from the Wix Arena. So it's pretty cool. You should definitely get involved. You can become a partner. And let's see here. Just want to tell y'all, thank you very much for having me tonight. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you guys go and use Corvid by Wix. It's really cool. It can satisfy a lot of your needs when it comes to full stack development. It's definitely in the works. It's got a lot of improvements that it has to make, but at the same time, it's giving you that opportunity to create full stack applications very fast. Thank you.
Hello, is this on? Yeah? Is this on? Yeah, okay. So questions.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me mic it down.
Jesus. How do you handle front-end routing and the mounting of components?
Yeah. So we actually have a routing API that's actually called Wix Router. So when you're in the editor, I'll show you. When you're in the editor, you can actually go here to our Corvid resources, and you can go to our API reference. And all these are different verticals that you could use. If you go here to the Wix editor, this is for all the elements on the page, all the functions that are available. So if I just go here to the search, and I go to router, I can go to Wix Router. I can create functions that will help me route different pages and for different calls. So yeah, and also for UI components. That's what you're asking as well.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have hundreds of UI elements built in, and actually, what's actually in the works right now is for you to be able to have your own UI kit available in there, so you don't have to keep remaking different elements. Yeah.
Cool. Who else has a question? Yeah.
I'm actually kind of curious. How do you guys handle version control?
Version control?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're using the Corvid CLI, which I suggest, because you're coming from a place where you're used to an environment, you probably like VS Code or Atom or Sublime or something like that, right? So when you're using the Corvid CLI, the Corvid CLI has the ability for you to use the Wix remote repository. So you can merge, pull, push different versions. And you can also use GitHub when you have the Corvid CLI installed as well, because all the code there is just JavaScript, and you'll be able to use the version control there. We also have a release manager that's built in, so you can actually put out different releases for your website and your web application. So if you want 50% of your users to see one side of your app, and you want another 50% to do that as well, it's literally just a slider, and you can fixate all of that right there.
So I have a question. Before I use a technology framework library package, I like to see what support options there are. Is there an active Stack Overflow community of it? Do people post issues on GitHub, and is that how people find answers? So what is the way for people to find answers to problems they may have?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I will bring you here to the Wix forum, the Corvid forum. So the Corvid forum has over 21,000 posts at the moment, over 4 million views, and we actually have people on the Corvid team interacting with users and answering questions. So it's not just somebody random, it's actually people that are working on the application itself. So these guys are really knowledgeable about Corvid, JavaScript, Node overall, and people always seem to get to their answer when they're doing so.
Cool. Anyone else have? Yep,
Oh,
got one
here.
here. 1 second.
Do you have staging environments? And also, just curious, what's the technology that you're using to create all these environments?
Yeah. So we don't have staging environments. What's being used to build all of this out? So a lot of the things that we actually have, so this website in general, this is built on Wix. So we're moving towards building a lot of our applications on Wix. So we're calling that Wix on Wix. But for the most part, everything else, yeah. For the most part, everything's built using Node.
But you could run it locally though.
So yeah, you could run this locally. Yeah. So you could run this locally. You just have to make sure that you're running on the internet. Yeah.
And the technology behind that you're using to create all these environments?
So to do that, we have a CLI. I'm not on that engineering side of the team, but I know that they're using, for the most part, Node, and also Electron as well for the editor that pops up. So, and Mongo for the databases as well. So yeah, you can export your database as well, and you can import as well. So yeah, using Mongo. Yeah, no problem.
Yes, to the best of your knowledge, are the backend services like the functions and the scheduler and the compute app, are those using like an existing cloud vendor under the hood, or is it something that you guys just rolled your own?
Yeah, so it's our own Wix Secure Cloud that we have, so it's not anything third party.
Thanks.
I'm wondering if there's like an eject option. Let's say you've built something in Wix, you find a shortcoming, there's a feature that you need that's not integrated already. Can you get your just JavaScript out of the Wix environment, out of the Corvid environment, and spin that off and do your own thing with it?
Yeah, so like you're saying, if you have an existing Wix project and you decide you want to go use a different service or use any type of other framework, can you export that? Yeah, so currently right now, there's no features to get that done, but that's definitely something that we look forward to accomplishing in the future.
Yeah, one more over there. Catch.
Thank you. So can you use the Corvid environment to actually make sort of a layout to use and sell to other customers? So like, for example, make a custom template, or maybe I want to make a custom version of Wix that you guys don't currently offer, and I want to, say, sell it to other people.
Yeah. So you can actually get on the Wix arena and become a developer, designer, whoever you want to be on the arena, and showcase your work and sell it to agencies or different clients that are on there looking for people to collaborate with and hire for their project. That also being said, we have a Wix app store that's built into the editor, so you can drag in different third-party apps like Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, or any of the built-in Wix apps like Wix stores or Wix blogs. And you can actually create your own Wix app and put it into the store for other people to use. So if you'd like to go and develop your own vertical, you can do so, and you can get paid for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And one last question. Here? Okay.
Can you take a look? Can you talk a little bit about pricing? I was looking at the website, and I wasn't clear about if that's per site or how exactly that works.
Yeah. So to use Corvid, it's actually free, absolutely free. So Wix works on a freemium model. So we have a freemium version and a premium version. To get started with the premium version, it's actually $13 a month to get started with the premium version. But the premium version allows you to use different business features that we have. So there's features like being able to, like we have CRM features that are built in. You're able to get your own domain. We also have Wix Ascend that allows you to work with your CRM and actually make video campaigns. You can send social media campaigns as well, videos. What else we have there? And you can also work with SEO tools as well.
So, but is that per site?
So yeah, $13.90 it will be per site. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Joshua, for a great talk.